What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. All right, it is the 8th day of August, and here we are at about $4,000. Wow, Ethereum is seeing some new relative highs here. 7 hours, 34 minutes left in the day. We got a little bit of time left in the week as well. It is Friday. We've got 2 days after this before the week closes. Let's actually look at how the week is looking so far. Pretty bullish week. No wick to the downside at all. That's crazy, man. Very, very bullish week. They call that a Maru Bazoo if you close without a wick to the upside, too. Let's see, you opened, where was the opening price? It was at 3,500 essentially, and the low was at basically $6 below that. So, wow. Wow, very, very bullish week indeed. You are knocking on the door, man. You're right here at this barrier about to break through. As exciting as this week is, Ethereum's up 13.6%, and that's great. That's all well and fun, but man, as exciting as that is, what's about to happen is it's going to be intense. It's going to be intense, man. Absolutely intense. Um, let's look at this on a short-term time frame, see if we are going to carry on over the weekend or if we find some momentary turbulence here. What I will say that I don't like on the USDT pair here on Binance is that you're moving up now. You don't really have that much volume. You don't really, volume stuff. Like, I don't necessarily like that. Like, if we're looking at this here, you moved up and you didn't have that much volume, so you came back down. Finally, though, and it's less important because you're not really breaking out, but finally when you start breaking out, look at the volume that came in, right? You start moving up higher here after consolidating for a couple of days, look at the volume that came in. You don't really have any volume here, and you had a higher daily close yesterday than you've had like all cycle, and or maybe at least all year, maybe not all cycle. Let's see. Yeah, would it be all year? Yeah, it would be all year. Um, but it's okay. I mean, 7 hours left in the day, some volume can still come in. Let's look at the short term stuff and see if we can divulge some more information. Okay, so 1 hour time frame here. $3,972. Looking at the 1 hour RSI, yeah, you do have a bit of a downtrend forming, right? Lower lows, lower highs. So you probably do move down over the weekend, right? 1 hour time frame is not something that condemns you for weeks or months or even days necessarily. But I mean, if we were to continue down at this kind of trajectory, and I'm roughly drawing it here, it might be Sunday, late Sunday, that we find some resolution. So maybe we have a bearish weekend for Ethereum, pull this week back a little bit with a wick to the upside. That's okay. Start the week off on the down note. I actually do have a theory that next week will open up to the downside too for Bitcoin. So very possible. RSI looks bearish. Stochastics, yeah, look bearish, rejecting that overbought zone there. And the MACD here, if it'll let me. You're overall in a bullish posturing, but you do have a double top on your oscillators. You're kissing here and coming back down. Yeah, you do look bearish. You do look bearish. So lower prices from here for sure. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. When I say for sure, I'm just saying I think. I think that we're going to get lower prices. Okay, I'm fairly confident in that. You did get a lot of volume on the 4 hour time frame. See, this is the kind of stuff you want to see as far as volume reads go when you're breaking out. But the thing is, you had a lot of volume and you didn't go anywhere. You got the volume, but you didn't get the price action. What the hell, man? You came back. That's not fun. That's not good. We get a high to a low here. You didn't even hit your 1272, right? This is looking more like a fake out than it is a breakout. But we'll see. You got 3 hours, 31 minutes left in this 4 hour time frame. If by the time most of you watch this, or within the next 3.5 hours, if we're up, we break above $4,000 on a closing basis on a 4 hour time frame, then I'm wrong, and we're moving up higher. Close above $4,000 on this 4 hour time frame, and I'm wrong. But if you close below 3,900 on this 4 hour time frame, I'm right. You are moving lower. Who cares about being right or wrong? But I would think that you do move a little bit lower. The 4 hour RSI does have some bearish divergence. It's not confirmed until we get a red 4 hour close, so 3 hours, 30 minutes to wait. You could very well continue to grow. This bearish divergence might be nullified or non existent, really, but it does have that look as at the moment. A little bit of bearish divergence on the stochastics too, though I must admit I like the stochastics. They do look pretty bullish. And the MACD looks bullish too. You did cross above the zero. Maybe it is time to cool off a little bit, but I don't have a problem with the MACD. The only one that I really have a problem with is the RSI, and that's really left open until 3 hours 30 minutes from now. You're only down, or you're only up 0.3%. So just close here, close green, close a little bit greener, move up like another $100 or something, and again close above $4,000. That should nullify this bearish divergence. But I am still thinking that we go to the downside, guys. The volume here coming in and you just didn't move anywhere. That says a lot to me. It does. Like here, you had some good volume, you went somewhere, so you went higher. Here, whenever you tried to go higher here, you had some good volume, but you didn't go anywhere, so you went lower. Thinking of it like that. If we take a low here to a high there, I would think where you go to would be about $3,740, the 382. You could bounce right off that area. It's very common with the 382 to wick a little bit below it and then close above it. So 4-hour time frame, you might see a 4-hour come down, wick below, and then come up and close above it. A situation like that, a scenario like that, would entice me to believe that we bounce. So, 39.60 right now, I would think we go down to 37.40, something like that. Maybe even, let's say, 37.20. Find support down there and then move up. Yeah, higher low overall. You'll do this thing, which is pretty damn common, which is you will break your trend line. You'll break this trend line. Everybody will flip bearish on Ethereum, and then as soon as you do break that, that's where it's the best time to buy. And then you actually move up, right? Just like here, you kind of broke it right there. You can't really see it because of the fibs, but if I delete this, you can see it. Right, you see that little wick. The best time to buy would have been right below it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. If it's a little more extreme than I'm giving it credit for, the lowest that I could see you going to might be 3,400. I doubt we get below 3,400, okay? 34 to 36, that's the 886 to the golden ratio zone. Sure, we could go down there. And maybe that happens over the weekend and going into Monday, Tuesday, maybe. But I would think that we find support at 3,700, 3,750, something like that. And then continue to move up. Ultimately, once we get below the red line here, 38.40, we get below there, and then we come back up and close above it. That should be the signal that we're moving higher. So wherever the low is, here, there, wherever it might be, once we close above 38.46 on a 4-hour time frame or daily time frame, that will signal that we are ready to go higher. And likely when we go higher, this little this move up this week, that's 13%, it's going to seem cute. Because we're gonna get movements like what we had here on this week, where we moved up 26%. Movements here when we moved up 39%, right? Crazy, and it might even be more powerful than either of those, right? Don't get me wrong. Ethereum has been moving up well this week here, but I think that when we break out of this zone, this little flat top range here, this, I want to call it, it's a broadening wedge. Definitely, it's a broadening wedge, broadening top, whatever. It's not a megaphone, but it's a broadening wedge. When we break above this, we could see something that's more bullish than any move that we've seen in Ethereum since the last bull cycle. Like this, these could be small potatoes compared to what's coming. I really do believe here at about $4,000, we are going to see this price erupt to $8,000 sometime between now and the end of September. So a little bit more consolidation to go. You're right there, man. You're right there. I just think that it's getting to be the weekend. Might have to wait a little bit of time, and then next week we can really start to rally. I'm thinking next week's going to be the week, you guys. It's going to be, when I say the week, I don't just mean the week for Ethereum. I mean for Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, everything. It's going to be the week. We're going to load up. We're going to compress that spring a little bit more this over the weekend and maybe over the next 4 to 5 days, and then bam. I hope that wasn't too loud. I hope you liked the video. If you did, and again, I'm thinking that we go to $8,000, and the reason for that, there's a couple of reasons for that actually. Let's do that real quick. High to low here. $8,000 is right there with our golden ratio, the 1,618 right there. If we take a high to low here, it's also the 1,272 of this range, right? Sometimes you wick a little bit above there. So $8,000, if not there, then higher. I don't see a scenario where Ethereum stops any lower than $8,000. And so that should happen over the next 4 to 6 weeks. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, and prepare for a little weekend volatility. All right, bye-bye.